Okay.
Well, what an exciting day with everything working out the way it is.
I know. I love it. Yeah, I've been messaging her basically since 7 o'clock this morning, back and forth.
All right. Well,
Because I was like, I think it'd be easier if I call you. And she's like, nah, let's just keep messaging. I'm like, okay.
all right. So where can I find these images?
Oh, okay. So let me do that real quick. Okay. They're moving over.
Awesome.
And then let me pull you back up because now I lost you. There you are. Okay, I found you.
Jeanie. All right. Perfect. There's some images. Okay. So we're going to take these down. And, it's hard to do this without knowing what somebody wants, I mean, so everything is so relative to like what a customer might want. And I'll talk about that first because, so like for instance, this one, this is a screenshot off her phone. I mean, obviously she wants that circle probably to be completed, but does she want the white to stay? Do we just keep the white in the mushroom? So many
And I
questions,
do have her on Messenger, so I can ask her questions too.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying this for the benefit of the recording. Like, it's just so hard to work with other people's artwork because you just don't know what they want. Like
Right.
like in this one, do you want this? Do you want this like the outline of the dog, or do you want literally everything with the green background? I mean, I would say you want the outline.
Can you share your screen?
Oh yeah, let me share my screen. I would say that you want the outline of the dog to put on a T-shirt because it's just going to be such a better feeling shirt than having this big square,
Right.
But the hard part about that is obviously the dog's legs are obscured, so you're just going to have a challenge. So the first thing I'm going to do is just Control C, Control V, and then we can try to see if we can't fill in the legs. Let me just go back and we'll select this, and we'll just try to get the legs. So let's
Okay.
just.
So did you magic wand like in the grass, or did you magic wand on the dog?
In this case, I just used the Photoshop's like select subject, and I think I've
Okay.
just
So
made that
you'll have to show
paw.
me that one on the next one, I guess.
Yep. And I'm just going to grab this and try to go around the paw a little bit to get in here. So we'll grab that and we'll call that our selection. I'm going to select modify. We'll expand it by 1 pixel, and that'll just kind of help us get a better. So I'll delete that layer. Yeah, delete layer. And then I'm just going to paste it. Kind of weird with the let me just go back to select. Let me start over. Here we go. Select subject. It's just on this window thing here, and if you don't have that, you go to window, contextual taskbar. So
Okay.
we'll just select that subject, and then I'm going to grab my magic or my lasso tool and just kind of rough in the paw, so it doesn't look so unnatural. And I'm going
Okay.
back. I'm going
So when
back.
I did my select subject, it like didn't select the pause at all. Did it select the pause for you at all initially?
Well, are you watching my screen?
Yeah.
So it did. I mean, a little bit, but not perfectly, But we'll just try it. So I've got that. I'm going to paste it. And then we got these blades of grass over the dog, which is not great. So we'll just try to see if we can't fix that, like with the spot healing brush. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but at least maybe it'll. No, it's terrible. I need a hard brush too. So I mean, I know if this was my dog, I wouldn't want the, I'd kind of want the paws to not be, I don't want the grass, and I know if it was my shirt, I certainly don't want the, that whole square on my shirt because it's going to feel terrible,
Right.
So we'll just go in and we'll just try to get some of this cleaned up. That's terrible. That's terrible. Let's just try to get some of these little blades off. Trying to get rid of that green. So I'm just going to paint white because it's not being cooperative. We'll use the clone stamp tool. So we'll use clone stamp, and we'll go boop, and we'll just clone stamp some of this fur. So I'm selecting here. I'm holding Alt and clicking, and then I can just paint that fur in.
Okay. Okay, that's a new one. I haven't seen that one before.
Just kind of rough it in. And then this is the hardest one right here. So we'll just try the spot healing brush. And we'll try to get rid of these. Yeah, that's really hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this to like clip my selection here. And then I'm going to try the clone stamp tool, and I'll make a decent sized brush here. I've got a soft brush. I'm going to pull from this area and just paint a little bit down here to try to fix this up a little bit,
Oh, that's cool.
It's working okay,
Yeah.
And then I might be able to go back to my spot healing and, just get it to heal it a little bit to have something. So, not perfect, but okay. All right, so now I'm going to trim it. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit of edge around the subject so it's not so tight. All right, and then I'm going to export this. So when we export this, this is Jeanie 1. Let's just call this Jeanie Pup. And we'll look at the actual size of it. We're going to pull it into upscale. And so it is 1069. So it's 3 inches wide. So we'll make it 5,000 pixels, upscale it. Can't really tell the difference, which is what we really kind of want. But it's going to be a lot larger. So now it's 5,000 pixels. We'll open that up with Photoshop. And then we'll do image trim, transparent pixels. And then I'm going to harden it. Nope, I'm going to actually go back and not harden it now. So I'm going to do layer, mask, from transparency, alt click, hold alt and click, and then image adjustments, threshold, and that's going to harden it. And then I'm going to apply the layer mask. And then I'm going to do image trim, transparent pixels, file, export, quick export as PNG. And we'll just call this Jeanie Pup, and I'm going to say Mike CDTF. That way I know that's my final.
Okay.
And then I'll load it back up in the drive. So we'll just come here, and I'm going to do a new folder, and I'm going to call it final, and then I'm going to upload that image because it's done. And I mean,
You do that.
this kind of work, I mean, this is $150 an hour work, you know?
Right, and that's why I was asking also, because I'm like, well,
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm not $150 an hour, but
So we'll open this up in Photoshop. Let's see. So have I got all these downloaded? Let me see. So this one's done. These are done. That's the zip file. Keep your clips. Here's Mushroom Glen. So we're going to open this with Photoshop and check it out. So this is difficult. Hang on just a second. I'll be right back. And this is a perfect example of, you know, what I'm talking about when it goes to like choices, you know. The choices that are available here are, do you want to keep this outer little glow, you know? I'm going to go for what's easy because that's going to be better. But the rest of the choices would be, are we putting this on a white shirt? If we're putting this on a white shirt, well, we can knock out all of this and make the shirt softer and all these dots. If we're putting this on a black shirt, well, then we better outline this in white and ditch, or you won't see the black. So what we're going to do is just like the best thing we can do with what we know. The first thing we want to do is not work with all this extra space. So we'll just come in, not to the actual edge, but close.
So you just did crop?
Yep, I'm just using crop and pulling in. It looks like the text is a little off.
I have a good question for that then. On my crop, how do you get it to where you can just do one side or the other without it being a ratio?
Oh, that's up here. So see, the ratio is up at the top. You just hit clear on the ratio.
Okay. Oh, okay. So because I've been struggling with that because I can get it close with like the square or the 5 to 7, but I couldn't get it to where it would just let me do individual. So thank you very much.
No problem. All right, so that ratio, you just clear it, and you can type in the ratio you want there.
Love it.
Awesome. All right, so now we've got Mushroom Glen here, and we're going to open that with upscale, and we're going to go pretty big. I'm going to try to get up here pretty big. Oh, what I didn't check was the actual image at scale. Yeah, so that is at scale. So really, this could use a little reduction. Just a slight reduction would be helpful on this image. But we're doing this loose and fast, and we're going quick. So that's a lot better. Okay.
Okay.
And now we're gonna got the upscaled one. We're gonna open that with Photoshop. Okay, so not knowing. Laura always says, it's hard telling. Somebody says hard telling, not knowing. I can't remember if that's Laura or who, but it is hard telling, not knowing. I'm going to go 80. I'm going to grab these. I'm just hitting holding shift and clicking each letter.
Oh, so you didn't select all of it at once. You're just doing the letters at once. The letters.
Yeah, making a decision about whether I'm going to pull the letters off or I'm going to pull cut around. Is just individually based on the situation. I mean, in this case, it just felt right. I'm gonna do a black.
When I hit shift and hit the M, it lights up the whole thing. So how did you just select a letter?
Do you have contiguous on or off?
Off. Okay, so contiguous needs to be on. Okay.
Yep, and then contiguous just means like restrict it to pixels that touch. So like if there was a black line here, in between, these 2 points, and then I select here with contiguous on, it's gonna flow through that.
Okay, so real quick, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I know I feel like I'm slowing you down.
It's okay.
So now I have all my letters clicked. They're all moving. So now what do I do next?
Control C.
Control C.
Yeah, and then Control Shift V.
Control Shift V.
Yeah, and then you
Okay.
should have layer 1 here, which you could rename it to text.
Perfect. Okay, so
All
it's
right.
but so my letters are still on my original, and that's okay. And now the
Yeah, that's
okay,
fine. All right, cool. Yeah, we're probably in this case we're probably going to just leave this original the way it is. So now I'm going to grab this and I'm going to select the entire outside. So I'm using contiguous again. I'm just selected in the tan area. And what I was
okay,
afraid of is that it would flow in. Yeah, and it did. See, it flowed inside this mushroom right here.
right,
And so there's different ways you can handle that. One way is I'm just going to put a new layer. I'm going to hit Control D and deselect. And I'm just going to grab my paintbrush and I'm just going to paint where I want it to stop. I just want it to stop there. So now I've got all layers here. So it's going to sample that layer I just made. And I mean, I could do a better job, but it's fine.
okay. So you just made a new layer, and then you went and got your paintbrush, and you picked black.
Yep.
And then my paintbrush is really big, so let's bring that down. And then you just basically connected the line.
Yep.
Oh, I just hit white. Let's try that again. Okay. Is it black now?
So I'm just going to select everything now, and it's not, the selection's not flowing into the mushroom. So
Okay. So on layer 2, the one where you just created the black line, you click in the tan.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess I did something wrong because it's just highlighting around the little black area that I just made.
Do you have sample all layers on?
Where is that? I'm sorry.
Right next to contiguous.
Okay, sample all layers is now on. And now it's correct. Okay, thank you.
No problem. And now I'm just going to hold shift. I've changed to my marquee tool, rectangular marquee. And I'm going to hold shift and I'm just going to select everything over to where I can. I'm about to run into that part, so I'm not going to hit that. I'm going to stop here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, hold shift and select everything I can. And I think there was a little bit that didn't get selected right here, so I'm going to hold shift and select that. So now I've got the mushrooms isolated, and I'm just going to hit invert. So it's select inverse is shift control I, and I've inverted my selection to just be the mushrooms. Now I'm going to select the background layer because that's what I want to copy from, and hit control C, and then I'm going to hit control shift V. And so now I can turn these two layers off because that was my little drawing, and that's the background, And now I'm going to select these two because I can tell this is not oriented properly. So I'm going to select both of these layers. I've got my move tool on, and I'm going to do align to canvas. So I'm just click these three little dots and chose align to canvas, and then I'm going to center so that things are centered.
I lost you. Oh, there you are. Okay.
The text is centered with the mushrooms. Now I'm going to do right click and do blending options. And I'm going to do a color overlay over this black just to make sure it's completely hard and it's all one color. And then around these mushrooms, I'm going to do blending options. And I'm actually going to put a stroke on the inside. I'm going to make sure it's black. And it just a little bit. I don't need much, but you can see what's happening. Like there's the stroke. So I'm just going to do, 6 pixels. And then I'm going to take this and duplicate this layer. And then I'm going to apply, rasterize the layer style on the top one. So rasterize the layer style. And then what that's going to let me do is let me erase this little part where it's supposed to be transparent in between here. And then I can turn off the stroke on the layer below and just have that little tiny gap be good.
Oh, okay. Are you recording?
I am.
Oh, fantastic. Will you
I'll,
send it when you're done?
I sure will. And
Fantastic.
So now we're going to trim. And you know what? I usually like to change the image size before I trim. So I'm just going to go down to like 3600. Actually, I'm
Do
going to
you
make.
need 300 first, or it doesn't matter?
No, it does because it messes it up here. I'm going to go to 4000 and 300, and then I'll trim, image trim, transparent pixels, and then I'll export this. So we'll export this as Jeanie Mushroom Glen. Boom. I'm going to delete these while I'm here. Save it. Yes. And then we'll just put that in the drive. Final. File upload. Ooh, where's my stuff? I'm struggling. Downloads. There it is. Open. Oh, and I should have named it better. I'm going to rename this. I like to put my name and the company initials just to, I mean, that way if this image gets sent to us again, we'll know I've already, like, taken care of it.
Right.
All right,
That's
so
smart.
the next one. So is this one's done. Here's the next one. Okay. So we're going to go into Photoshop on this. And we're going to look at this, and probably does want to keep all this background stuff, but probably wants the white gone, I would think.
I would think.
Yeah, so let's look at this. I'm going to do image size because it gives you a close-up of like what the quality of the actual image is, and you can see all those aberrations around the outside of the ear. And so you know that those are JPEG artifacts. So this actually has to go down smaller. But you can't do much because what we've got here is a 720. So it's a 2-inch wide image by 3 inches high. So if we take much off of this, we're going to lose tons of detail. I'm going to go 500. That's going to be the best we can probably do. And then just hit save. It's going to save as a JPEG. I don't want that. So I'll export it as a PNG. And we'll call this Jeanie Pop Pattern. Save it, and then we'll go to our upscaler. We'll select it, open it, and it's about all I'm going to try to pull out of it is 8,000. So, or 4,000 pixels. I said 8 times, and I said 8,000. So, pretty significant change. I mean, this is a very difficult image to take the background off.
Right.
So we'll just do the best we can. I'm going to select with contiguous off and see what white comes. So it's really getting into all sorts of parts there. Yep. We'll turn contiguous back on and try it. Yeah, this is going to be hard. So we'll just go and do what we can. And I'm going to hold Alt and try to carve this stuff out. I'm going to carve in here. I'm going to get this. So I'm hitting Shift to go in and actually get parts out.
Okay.
I'm holding Alt to take away. And you just kind of stay inside the lines is better than going outside. And see here we've already got a selection, so I can just cheat there. And I just want to get down into here. And then around this. So you've got different tools. You can also use your magnetic lasso.
Okay.
And so magnetic lasso should, I'm going to hold Alt still. It should try to follow this line. And it just kind of like helps you. It doesn't work on everything. I chose to do it here, and I clicked at that point. Definitely doesn't work on everything because it's like when there's not a clear line. See, I didn't try to do that fuzzy area, but that helped me get that shape. I'm going to go in here and actually use my wand again. And hope that didn't screw up any of my previous selections. It didn't look like it did. Now that I'm in close, I can see that I could do a better job along here and just have a straighter line. So I'm just fixing that. Oops, I didn't. I held Shift instead of Alt. So we'll go grab that. And then I'm going to hold Alt and grab all of this and try to follow that curve too. And I'm going to hold Alt and get this. Wow, this is tough. Shift. Shift. There's a lot of decisions to make, you know, what parts to keep and what to get rid of. And so I'm just doing a loose inside type selection, and then I can refine it. So you could grab your magnetic here because there's really a big difference between this white and this color. And I'm clicking to make my corner. And then I'm just going down along here. And I'm clicking inside. Now I'm clicking a lot to force it because I don't want the magnetic to try to make any decisions there for me. Here's another great place to try to use the magnetic because it's such a difference in color and I've got a pretty hard edge. So see how that's just kind of helping me make that selection.
All right, you don't have to be as precise because it just kind of follows it for you.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we can probably use that same technique here, even though it's a fuzzy edge, it's going to be harder. It's struggling more along that fuzzy edge. But this is working pretty well.
You didn't have to click around that curve? That's nice.
I didn't. I haven't had to click at all yet.
Nice.
So it's fuzzy, but you know, we're getting it. And now I'm clicking inside here to try to force it to do what we need. I'm using the magnetic lasso a lot because, you know, there's just a lot to do. And we really have a bad selection overall. We should at least get us close. Now I'm just going to get inside here and click. Yeah. All right. Well, there's a lot. Alright. If I clean this up a little bit. This is hard. Hard to know what to do on spots like that. Like this would just be better just to not have that chopped out.
Right.
And we'll try. This we're just going to have to draw. So let's just draw. I'm gonna keep that like that. Come around this. Come up in here. And then I'm just gonna freeform it along this bottom. And then I've got this tool selected. I probably could have used the magnetic there, but I've got this tool open. So I'm just going for it. That's where you hold your breath, right there.
Right?
Okay. And save some of this, but we don't want that black. So I'm just going to get rid of this. I'm just going to make a decision there. Almost done. Let's go around this. And then we'll just imagine the flower shape. Come back around. Boop. Yeah, and I'm just going to leave this one off because, these ones that go past the border are just going to reveal the box more. Oh, and I've got some mess up here in this top right corner. So let's draw this petal back in. And I think that I did too many things there, so I'm just going to go around that, get that back out, and add this back in. Nope, I wanted to alt that part, so I'm just going to fix this. Okay, so let's say that's it. Let's Control C, and then Control Shift V. Yep, so I should have inverted it. So I'm going to do select, reselect, and then Control Shift I to invert it, and then Control C, and then Control Shift V.
Okay. That's what I did with something yesterday. I had just gotten the white background, and I was like, okay, so how do I get the image, not the background?
Right.
Okay, so invert.
Yep, so I'm going to trim that. Yeah, and then it's select. Inverse is what you do with that. So now we got this one, file export, quick export as PNG, and this is Jeanie pup pattern, and I'm going to say Mike CDTF, and then we'll load that in the drive. And then I can clean up some of my workspace here. I'm going to wait to make sure that actually uploaded. Yep. And
yeah, I made that mistake before where I deleted it. It was like, this file can't be
opened. All right, this one's adorable.
Isn't it cute?
Oh my God, it's so cute. I mean, all right, so now image size. So it's about 3 inches by 2.5 tall. So we got to make it a lot bigger, but it's going to be great. It's going to be the best one, my opinion. And so we'll take that as big as we reasonably can, because we got a really tough background removal on this one. We'll probably be able to do this pretty good. The problems are going to be in here. All this green glow.
Right.
So let's try that. So this is, we're going to call this one Jeanie Mushroom Pop. All right, we'll open that with Photoshop. So I'm going to try to do this like one click, I'll duplicate this layer just in case and turn it off. And an 80 pixel cut. And probably just accept it because it's got all this
That's
like...
pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I'll shift select in there. And I might, probably just accept it. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Yeah, let's just delete.
So how did you just delete the background then?
I just clicked delete.
Okay. So then how come it didn't delete the dog and it deleted the background?
Well, that's that whole, where your selection is. Like, is your selection inverted or is it,
Okay.
So, I mean, just to, if I'm selected out here, it's selected around, it's selected the outside. You can tell because the little ants.
And then you just hit delete and it deleted the background.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so that one was actually pretty easy. And now we'll do image size, and we'll get close to our target size, which could be somewhere probably around 4,000 pixels. I should have made this 300. I'm hitting Shift-Tab to go back and forth. And then we'll trim it. Oh, and there's something hiding out here. So the trim has revealed that there's something in one of these corners. So I'm just going to go out here and hit delete on this layer. And then do image trim again. And now it's good. Export. And we'll call this Jeanie Mushroom Pop Mic CDTF. And then that's there. And we'll upload that. And then we'll delete this one. Delete that one. Oh, this one's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Difficult with those faded bits.
Yeah, that's the one I got to the remove, and I just had like the white mask instead of the image. So now I know I need to invert it.
So we got a little bit of fuzziness in here. Now I'm being super picky, I think, just because this is such a nice image. I'm just going to take it down to 650.
Does it matter that it's not 300 DPI on that one when you're upscaling it?
Not yet. It's going to matter when it's it's going to matter when we get to the actual final.
Okay. And I'm sorry if I'm asking stupid or dumb questions.
I don't think there's any stupid questions. No worries. All right. So this one, we'll open that with Photoshop. I'm going to close my others. I don't need to save anything because I'm saving as I go. And, you know, I mean, to talk about how to do good artwork here, like if I knew I was putting this on white and I wanted this to be soft, I would actually just knock everything out. I just want to talk about how to do good artwork here. So I'm just going to grab, I'm going to turn off contiguous, and I'm going to grab all the black.
Okay.
And it looks like it's grabbed a little more than I like. So I'm going to go down on my tolerance and do control and grab just all the black more specifically, which is losing, you know, some of these like mushrooms that are really cute. And it's picking up, I mean, because you don't want all this ink, you know, you just don't want all of this ink on your shirt. It's going to feel so heavy. You know, so I would go in and detail this more and grab, you know, and remove some of this. And then there's parts that I would add. You know, like I'd add this back in. Go around that. I'd do that much more precisely though. But what you can do is you can grab this and you can hit Control C and Control Shift V and then just have just kind of this outline. Then you can go from the outside and try to fix like wherever it's leaking. Oh, I have contiguous off. That's my problem. So see, now it's just kind of getting this like outline. Then I can go back to my background. So I can go in here. I'll turn my tolerance way up, 80. I'll set this actually to a color overlay and make it pure black so there's no weird stuff. And then you could even go in and you could clean this up. You know, like clean all this stuff up. I should have a hard brush. So you say, don't do that part. You know, don't do that part. See, this is just another technique for how to clean something up. And I could bring, you know, cut all that out. Oops. I don't want all this mess here. Just want clean lines. I don't want that little thing. I kind of want that mushroom in the top, but I'll take it out for now. So you just kind of swoop into these spots. You get your brush to be the right size to, like, you know, just clean it up. I'm gonna clean all this up. I'm not sure what part of the image this is, but I'm gonna get rid of it for this initial, like, selection. Just clean all that up.
It's just grass.
And then I clean this up. Clean that up. I'm going to do the hard part where it's attached, and I'm not happy with that, so I'm going to Control Z it and get in a little closer. Now I'm going to add a stroke. Yeah, you see me get inspired on the image, and then I want to do a better job. And I'm adding to the outside, and I'm making it fairly big, and that's going to help me see any problem areas. It's just going to highlight them. See, I see.
So what about at the bottom there, where there's like that line at the bottom? Like at the very bottom of the canvas, or we don't care because we're going to trim it?
Oh yeah, no, we definitely care about that.
Okay.
Go away. Get out of here. All right. And then I'll turn off my stroke. And then I can just...
It's back on, I saw like a little dab of green between those two mushrooms above there. Does that matter?
Good eye.
Okay.
Here's
Because there's a couple above the M and mushroom on the right. Oops. On the other M.
Other M.
Other M right there.
Boop, boop. Yeah, and you can call them out even more by putting a solid layer and pulling that down to really... I mean, if this was my artwork, you know what I mean? I would be in here for like a couple hours.
Right.
You know, be worried about all this little edginess.
So now that we have, obviously not like the dogs, but now that you clean this like mushroom blend up, is this something that we could put on the website or no, because it's not our image, or like how does that work?
Yeah, it's not ours. You know, it's not ours. We can't put it on the website. It's it's just one of those things. I mean, if they gave us permission to, obviously, yes, we would. So I'm just gonna go around this, and I'm just painting now to, like, you know, try to fix this part. Just trying to heal the lines. So I'm just going to make a smaller brush and just kind of go around this shape to try to fix this. I'm really just focusing on the outer part. Oh, that's why you should do like little strokes. So you do a stroke and then you do another one, you know, just to, so you don't lose your work when you're, so there's just another little part. And then I'm going to fix this up right here, and then I'm going to go around this. All right. So I'm pretty happy with this. I do know that I want this. I want this. So I want this right here. Darn, I'm not happy with how I'm doing that. Well, let me just use the lasso tool and you know, help my drawing. So I'm just gonna go around this. And And then I'm going to draw with the paintbrush, and I'll get a little bigger brush and just kind of run around the side of those. It's okay if I'm being messy. I'll show you why in just a second.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to do the same trick here and go around this. I'm just focusing on the outside shape, and see if I wanted to, I could take this and add a little bit more here. So this will all make sense in just a second. And then I'm just going to go big and go black and get all the way around this edge. Voila. And let me see what else I got here. I don't want to lose these little mushrooms. So I'm going to do my magnetic lasso. I'm going to start inside. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Have I lost? No, I haven't lost that big blue mushroom. I'm just making sure. So I'm going to do my magnetic lasso and go right around here. I'm going to try to pick up this little sprig of grass because that's not going to add a lot of weight. So I'm clicking in the inside parts. And here's where you have to be really detailed. You know, you're getting too close and it'll kind of suck to the other parts of the image. You know, I want to talk about the difference between screen printing and DTF. It's like, if you brought this image to a screen printer, they would immediately like start reducing colors.
Right.
And they would do that, you know, very wisely, because with screen printing, every color is more expensive. You know, every color costs. And so with DTF, you know, because we can add all the colors. People have a tendency to, you know, just do like full color images like this. Like with a screen printer, they'd be like, "Oh no, we're gonna reduce this to like just a few colors," and so why, and that's why DTF gets this bad rap of being like a heavy-handed, bad feeling artwork because you can, and so that's, you know, it's just kind of like a problem with you know, people that aren't used to preparing images for t-shirts. Oh shoot, I lost my selection over here.
Can you control Z? Oh, if you control Z, then you'll lose the one you have.
Yes, hang on, I got this. So I want to keep this one.
So can you create another layer?
That's what I'm thinking I'll do. So I'll just copy that, and then I'll Control Shift Z. And then I'll paint this one in. And then I'll try to paste. Yay, I got it. All right, so now we've got like our selection. So I'm just going to merge this down. So now we can turn.
So is merge down just Control E?
It is just Control E. Okay. It's also layer somewhere in here. Oh no, it's right click over here. Merge down. I'm not sure where it is.
So when you merge the layers, that basically just makes it one layer.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like, so are you familiar with in Cricut Design Space when you like whatever that. Now I lost it.
It's okay. I have never used Cricut Design Space in my life.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm proud of that.
You probably should be because it's hard to use sometimes.
It is. It's just not real graphic design software. So, all right. So now I've got a problem here, and I'm just going to paint this in because I just want to keep that part. So all of this has just been to like try to refine an actual selection that's good. And now I'm going inside all these areas and picking up all the parts that we want. And I'm just going to make us grab all of this. There's a lot of cool detail in there. Nope. I'm just going to decide to cut it right there. All right. And then I'm going to inverse that. And then we go back to our original and copy it. And then paste it. Ta-da!
Wow.
And so, having these broken up areas in here will just save so much ink. And not that we're worried about saving ink for our sake. We're worried about saving ink for the feel. Yes, it's going to feel good. And then I might add around this whole thing a little stroke of black just to help. And I'll put it on center so it's like inside and outside, just a touch. And that'll help the outline. And you could go and you could clean this up more, but I mean, you could spend hours on an image like this.
Right.
We've already spent too much. So now we'll do our image. Well, I'm going to crop in just a bit. And I'm just doing that to get close to the final destination size. Let's make it 300. 4,000. Okay. And then I'm going to do trim. So it's perfect. And then we'll do export. And we'll call this Jeanie 5 mushroom. Then logo, Mike CDTF. The rewarding part of knowing how to do stuff like this is like sometimes years later, after I've done something like this for somebody, I come upon their business and it's like thriving, and like they're using my artwork. They're using the artwork that I cleaned up, and that feels so cool. That's the best part of doing stuff like this. All right, is that Jeanie 5? Look, we are almost there. Here's Jeanie 6. We are going to quick and dirty get this taken care of. Let's make it as big as we can reasonably do it. We're almost there. And she is going to be so happy. I hope.
So is it okay that I log into her account for her and create the sheet for her, and then she can verify that it's good, and then she can continue on the payment side, or is that not a good idea either?
No, I think that's a great idea. I mean, do you know how to do that? Like, that's what I'm still lost about even how to do that. Have you figured that out, how to operate?
Well, I had to log into her account, like I just went through on my Chrome side on Crystal DTF and just logged in as her.
Right. Okay.
And so when she was there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna need you to send me the verification code.
Okay.
So just verification code, and then I was like, okay, I'm in. And then I was like, well, before I create this, these images are going to look like this, like with the white background. Is this what you want? She's like, well, I'd rather they didn't. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, I am still very new to this, and I don't know how to do this yet, but I will see if I can get help.
Absolutely. So again, we just don't want the big, we just don't want the big, so I just drew an ellipse and I can adjust it around and move it around, and we got a clipping mask on, but we don't want the big circle, you know. So I'm just going to go ahead and I don't know if I can apply a clipping mask. Let me duplicate this layer. That's going to release it, and then I'm going to create it again, and then I'm going to try to like merge these two. So now I've actually.
Jess is asking me a question, and I know we don't make UVDTF. Are we?
Oh, let's tell him to go get it. Okay, so now I've got that. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to grab my magic wand. You know, I'm just going to select with contiguous off the black. And then copy that. I'm going to go all the way around this and ditch this outer part. Nope. I know I don't want this outer circle. I'm going to add it back in, but okay, let's just grab that black.
So that's that Control Shift V.
Yep, I did Control C and then Control Shift V.
Okay.
So I'm going to add a color overlay and make it real, like solid black. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's a stylistic choice to not be pure black, and so we'll just use not pure black on this. We'll use this kind of off black. Okay. And then I'm going to take the text only and isolate it, because this line is just not thick enough, in my opinion.
Right.
Well, we can copy this layer style and paste it. And then this is this inner circle. This is the text. And then now we need the mushroom. So I'm selecting here. It's too strong. Well, actually it's fine, isn't it? Let's just come in here and get fix that part. Oh, I had contiguous off. That's what my problem is. Yeah, let me turn it on. Now I've got it right. Now I'm going to inverse my selection, and then I'm going to deselect everything outside. Kind of lost on what I'm doing here. I got confused. I really did.
Okay.
All right, so there's all that. And
Could you ever just go around the mushroom?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
My brain's not functioning on that part right now. So now I've got my ellipse. This is done for. This is my mushroom. And I'm going to paint in these little white circles. So I'm just gonna, you just kind of go to, see there's the bottom edge of the circle, and then there's the outer edge. So you just go there and hold shift, and it should just draw it pretty much right where you need it.
Okay.
Kind of looks funky, doesn't it?
A little bit.
But I can't imagine what else the artist that drew this was thinking. I mean, I guess that circle just goes, I guess that mushroom goes outside of the box there. Yeah. Alright, and then we'll duplicate this layer and see if we can't just slide it down here. Yep, that looks better. And then we'll duplicate this layer and we'll slide it down over here. And then we'll transform it and stretch it out. And make it try to fit that shape. Fighting it. I wish it would.
Those circles need to be cut off, just even with the, like, if you just trace the red around the circle, like cut the top off that circle at the top.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Like if you just continue the arc of the red through the white, and then have the top of that circle go away on the very top one.
Oh, you want me to do that? You want me to do that here too? That's what needs to happen, isn't it? All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here to tell us what's going on, because that is exactly what needs to happen. That's what the artist intended. Okay, so we'll just draw a mask. So I'm going to take these 3 ellipses. Well, this one still needs some help. Oh no, there's just some problems along this edge right here. So this part, we're just going to paint this in. Nope. To fix that little, whatever that was. And then, I'm with you, we'll draw a mask. So we'll take this, we'll merge these 3, and then we'll draw a mask for it. That's just going to follow this curve. I'll turn them off. And we'll do the same thing up here. Kind of placed that wrong. So we'll just use our little edit tool here. Yep. You can really get into that. Oh my gosh. I'm embarrassed. It's taking me so long to do this part. Here we go. Pull those in. Yep. And then we'll do the same thing here. So that's shape 1. You know, it's just not going to be perfect.
It's okay.
Yep. And then we're going to do another one right here.
It's better than I can do, Mike.
Thanks. And then we'll just draw that in there. Okay, and then I'm going to extend this out. Alright, and then we'll try joining these 3. Oh, and I guess I don't even need the ellipses now. Okay, and then this one, the inner circle, we're going to do a blending option and make it thicker. So we'll just do a stroke, and I'm just going to put it on center. And I'm going to make sure it's the right color. And then just see if it's thickening the line. Yeah, it's thickening it just a bit. We'll make it like a little thicker so it prints nice. And then this ellipse will kill the fill. And we'll use this color for the stroke. No fill. And stroke's got to be adjusted. And it's going to be, oops, I'm not sure why that's on. And I'm not sure why I'm not seeing my ellipse. Stroke. I'm not seeing it. There it is. Okay. Boom. Mushroom blend. All right. Yay. All right. Image size. We're going to go to, we're going to make it 300. And then we'll make it about 4,000. And then we'll do image trim, transparent pixels. Okay. File, export, quick export is, and we'll call this Jeanie 6 logo mushroom blend. Save. And then we'll put it up. That's Jeanie 6. I need to rename this to Mike CDTF. And then we'll put it up in our final. File upload. Boom. Open. Done. All right.
You're